And greetings, everyone, and welcome to Buzz for Good, where we talk all things nonprofits, the people they serve, and the good they do. And let me say, Merry Christmas. Yes, now I know that it is at least January 3rd, if you are listening to this, but I have always been one to celebrate the 12 days of Christmas, meaning it is still the Christmas season. So in honor of the 12 days of Christmas, on today's Buzz for Good, I am celebrating 12 Buzz highlights from 2025 in anticipation of even more Buzz here in 2026. I have gone back through the nearly 40 Buzz episodes and Buzz live shows we produced in 2025 and selected these 12 moments to share with you today that highlight nonprofits that engage in everything from Black history, animal welfare, refugee and immigrant opportunities, Down syndrome and intellectual disabilities, poverty, literacy, unplanned pregnancies, and so much more. It's what I love about nonprofits because they literally do everything. I will also take a moment here to share that in 2026, we are already making plans to highlight and help an equally diverse array of nonprofits, from the Franklin County, Virginia NAACP, Southwest Virginia Wildlife Center, on our own of Roanoke Valley, a mental health drop-in center, the Harrison Museum of African American Culture, and the Hank Poor Foundation, which provides recreational adaptive devices for adults with intellectual and physical disabilities in Alabama. I am also thrilled to announce that I will be hosting once again a new round of Buzz live shows starting January the 8th from Center in the Square's Waldron stage in downtown Roanoke. For more information about those shows, as well as all things Buzz, please go to our website, buzzforgood.com. That's Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, 4, good.com, as well as our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, even TikTok, all at Buzz for Good. My name is Michael Hemphill. I'm the creator and host of the TV show Buzz that airs every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on Blue Ridge PBS, featuring the great work of nonprofit organizations and the pro bono marketing resources provided by my good friends at the American Advertising Federation of Roanoke. We are also on air on Alabama Public Television and increasingly on other public stations across the United States, thanks to our partnership with the National Educational Telecommunications Association. So a lot of buzz happening. And again, you can see all about it on my website, buzzforgood.com. Now, in no particular order, I will start with my first Buzz highlight of 2025. When we began our year-long project back in January with the Franklin County NAACP, as it sought to spread the word, or in its words, raise the shade on the 70 African American men from Franklin County who fought for the Union in the Civil War. We opened the episode with two leaders of the project, Larry and Glenna Moore, reading aloud from two historical documents that represent a very different vision of what it means to be African American.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Our new government is founded upon exactly the opposite idea.
They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights.
Its foundations are laid, its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man.
That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
That slavery, subordination to the superior race is his natural and normal condition.
Thomas Jefferson, The Declaration of Independence, 1776.
Alexander Stephens, Vice President of the Confederate States of America, 1861.
Monuments are all around us, testaments to people and places of the past. Today's Buzz begins with just such a monument, located on the courthouse lawn in Franklin County, Virginia, honoring the county's ancestors who fought for the Confederacy in the Civil War. It's a common monument in the South, but increasingly people are asking, why? Why is it there? What is its origin story? Who and what is it honoring? And who and what is it not? These are the questions being posed by members of the nonprofit Franklin County NAACP. With funding they've received from the Mellon Foundation as part of a Virginia Tech-led initiative titled Monuments Across Appalachian Virginia, the Franklin County NAACP has created a project called Raising the Shade. Their mission? Create new monuments that celebrate the county's 70 African American ancestors who fought for the Union during the Civil War in a branch of the Army known as the United States Colored Troops. But their quest, like the one their ancestors faced 160 years ago, has been fraught with struggle as they're confronting the truth epitomized by the great William Faulkner. All of us labor in webs spun long before we were born. The past is never dead. It's not even past. Now, that was our first episode featuring the work of the Franklin County NAACP to raise the shade on the vital role that African American troops played in the Civil War. Our work with the nonprofit concludes this January 18th at a public ceremony in downtown Rocky Mount in Franklin County with the unveiling of a statue to the United States Colored Troops. The event is free and open to all, and more information at raisingtheshade.org. Now, for Buzz Highlight number 2 of 2025, we featured the nonprofit Masterpiece Alliance, which provides community for adults with intellectual disabilities in the Roanoke Valley. These individuals often find themselves isolated once they lose their resources and friends offered through public schools. There's a common saying that the only disability is a bad attitude. Indeed, there are 7 million adults in the United States who are classified as having an intellectual disability, from Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, and genetic disorders. But having spent time with them producing this episode, I'm left wondering, who are the ones really disabled in our world? Because the community created by the nonprofit we're featuring on today's Buzz, well, each member, quite simply, is a masterpiece.
Masterpiece Alliance really started because of a journey that my family's been on for a while. That journey really involves 3 things. One is that I've been an educator for 28 years now in the public schools, a job that I love, I still love to this day, but one thing I've seen is that folks with intellectual or developmental disabilities, they have a lot going on during school, 7 hours a day at least of friends and activity, and then they graduate high school, and unfortunately, it's often to nothing. You're probably not going to college. You very well maybe aren't able to get a job just yet or a job on your own. You're not going into the military. There are very few programs that exist for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So here's this young person who's gone through school their whole life. You know, they've had friends and activities and teachers and a warm, loving environment, and then they hit the age of around 22 where they stop receiving services from the public schools, and there's really not much for them.
Mom and Jim always say I'm at the age where I need to get used to doing this stuff.
Well, you got the kerchief right here, you know, and
Very
matches.
fancy.
Of course.
Yep, and the shirt is kind of choking me.
My wife and I have 4 children, wonderful kids, ages 30, 27, 22, and 16, and our 27-year-old daughter is on the autism spectrum. So we have lived the life of parents with a wonderful child who we love dearly, who has tons of skills, tons of gifts. In fact, she's the greatest person in the world to work with preschool-age children. But she's had to navigate at times a very difficult road having autism, being on the autism spectrum. So we've seen this as parents. We've seen this in the public schools. We have also been volunteers for the last 15 years with a Young Life ministry called Capernaum that works with adolescents with intellectual disabilities and developmental disabilities. And just like in the public schools, when you age out of that program, there really aren't other ministries like that for folks with disabilities. So we got some friends together and said, let's do something. We didn't know what that was going to be, but we decided to do something, and that something turned into Masterpiece Alliance. The name Masterpiece Alliance is very important to us. The word masterpiece comes from a version of Ephesians 2:10 that says, "For we are God's masterpieces." We believe that everybody is a masterpiece, that there are no mistakes in God's creation. And that verse goes on to say that everybody has a purpose that was created in advance. And so we believe that all of our friends, all of our community members, all of our masterpieces, they also have a really meaningful purpose. So while we want to build a community and we want people to get to know each other and not be isolated, we also want to help our friends, our community members live into the big purpose, the big story, the impactful life that they were created to live.
Hello, my name is Connor, and this is my mother, Cheryl. As you can see, I cannot control my left arm because of my traumatic brain injury.
We were in a car crash when he was just about 8 years old, and he suffered a brain injury, and he's made remarkable progress. It was in 2005, so it's been a while. So yeah, for us, Masterpiece has so many opportunities. It's more than Connor can participate in because he is in some classes at a program called No Bounds, and then he has therapies, and then we have family, so he has a lot he can participate in, but Masterpiece lets him get out and see friends that he met back in Capernaum. But yes, it's hard to find.
What she said.
Again, you can watch that episode on Masterpiece Alliance in its entirety on our YouTube channel at Buzz for Good. Now, in February 2025, we launched a new platform called Buzz Live, which I only somewhat jokingly called The Tonight Show for Nonprofits. Broadcast live in front of a live studio audience from the Spot on Kirk in downtown Roanoke, our first Buzz Live shows featured conversations with the people who serve and are served by nonprofits. And here is how our very first show began.
All right. I like it. I like it. Welcome, everybody, to our very first Buzz Live. My name is Michael Hemphill. I'm the creator and host of the TV show Buzz that airs Wednesday nights on Blue Ridge PBS, where we feature the great work that nonprofit organizations do and the marketing professionals affiliated with the American Advertising Federation of Roanoke, who donate their time and talent to help these life-giving organizations achieve more buzz. There we go. Very nice. Very nice. It is a joy to see all of you here tonight. Appreciate you coming out to the Spot on Kirk. Thanks to the Spot on Kirk for hosting us. If you are tuning in to our Facebook or YouTube live stream, you've got my man Rob Orthwine here to thank. So Rob, let's give it for Rob.
Hello.
Very nice. Now, when I first launched the TV show Buzz back in 2020, I did not envision myself being the host of the show, the on-camera host of the show. But it was the start of the pandemic. My sponsorship budget had kind of run out, and I was who I could afford. Well, when I envisioned this Buzz Live talk show, my main hesitation was, here I am once again going to be on camera having to carry a show. Well, it just so happens that a few weeks ago, I was here in this space in the Spot on Kirk, attending the birthday party of the founder of the Spot on Kirk, Bruce C. Bryan, who is here tonight. Give it up for Bruce. And I got into a conversation with an acquaintance of mine who not only has a heart for nonprofits as the vice president of advancement for the United Way of Virginia's Blue Ridge, she also, more importantly for my purposes, is a former TV host on the very popular show Living Local. Yes. And when this person kind of mentioned, you wouldn't want to co-host with you, would you? I immediately said, you had me at hello. So it's my pleasure to welcome here to the stage, Kiana Price Marshall.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thank you, you all. This is truly full circle as I get to do something that is near and dear to my heart, and that's telling the stories of people who are doing extraordinary things that often don't get the recognition. And so I love to be able to do this alongside you, and it's great. Now, I will say, although I hosted a live TV show for 4 years, we never had a studio audience. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, well, we have a great show for you here tonight. First up, we're going to be speaking with Franklin County NAACP and its work to honor the 70 African Americans from the country who fought for the Union in the Civil War. We also, each night, you can expect a musical guest. And tonight we have Brian Harvest Black Hancock, and we'll close out the show with Masterpiece Alliance, which creates community for adults with intellectual disabilities. So,
Lovely.
what do you think?
All right,
Get to it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it. Yes. So,
Well, we want to thank not just these amazing guests. We also want to thank you guys here in the audience, you guys who are watching at home, hopefully not while you're driving, but if you're at work. And thanks to our sponsors tonight, Friends of the Blue Ridge, which works to build better community throughout the Blue Ridge region, and the Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And of course, our thanks to our friends here at the Spot on Kirk.
absolutely. Next week, all right, we're back on this stage, and we will have with us Apple Ridge Farms. And, right. And Healing Strides of Virginia, with musical guest Keith Alessi, who, and his signature show, Tomatoes Tried to Kill Me, but the Banjo Saved My Life. So, for Kiana Price Marshall, for my man Rob Orthwine working the live stream, and all of you, thank you so much for buzzing with us tonight. Let's get one more song to close us out from Harvest Black, and keep on being a buzz for good in the community you hold dear. Thank you now.
Thanks for coming out.
For Buzz highlight number 4 of 2025, I was able to buzz to my hometown of Birmingham, Alabama, and feature a nonprofit called the Christian Service Mission. One of its main volunteers is a longtime family friend of mine, Dickie Atchison. And his story here shares why as much good as volunteers for a nonprofit do for the people that the nonprofit serves, oftentimes it's the volunteers who need the most help of all. Then there is, of course, my good friend Dickie Atchison, who was introduced to Christian Service Mission more than a decade ago by a man in his Bible study. He started serving just a couple of days a week, but tragically and too quickly, he soon became the one who needed to be served. The reason?
My wife Jody. We started dating in the 10th grade in high school, and dated all through high school, dated all through college, dated for 7 years before we got married. Mm-hmm. And we spent over 49 years married, and she developed a real rare brain disease in 2017 and passed away in 2018. My best friend, love of my life, one of the wisest, biggest heart, beautiful, caring. All her students over her 30 years in education loved her to death, that she taught and coached, and she made me a better person, that's for sure. And I couldn't have, God blessed me with the ultimate partner in life.
Having known her, I would agree. Yeah.
Thank you.
You did well.
Well, I did.
You outkicked your coverage, as they say.
Yeah, that's right. I did.
I asked Dickie what his life would be like today without Christian Service Mission.
I have no idea. I might not even be alive at this point. You know, losing Jody was a traumatic thing for me, of course, and having been together for 57 years. But thank goodness God had already led me to be here part-time. And then after she passed away, they said, you know, you can work as much as you want to. So that's what I've done. the construction guys that I work with, and there's 3 or 4 of us, 5 of us, I guess now, just great guys that are good Christian men that love what they do. They're all retired, and we do what we do every day. And I love the folks here. I love the folks that we get out and meet in these communities. Once Jody passed away, I didn't have that, didn't get those hugs all the time. And you go out into these communities. Just yesterday we finished a deck for a lady over in North Birmingham. And she must have hugged all of us 3 or 4 times, thanking us, just giving us hugs. And the reaction of the people we work with just hits you right in the heart. And since I lost part of my heart, a lot of my heart, when Jody passed away, these people have fulfilled that song. And this place has fulfilled that song. So they've replaced what I needed.
So you still wear your ring?
I do. Not only that, this is Jody's wedding band. I wear it around my neck 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, close to your heart. She's
Close
still,
to my heart.
She's still there.
She's right there.
Yeah.
And people say, "You still wearing your ring?" I say, "Well, I'm still married. She's just not here. But she's waiting on me." She told me that before she passed away. She said, "I'll be waiting on you in heaven." And I believe that, and I'm looking forward to that. Not through here. Not through here, but it's win-win. If I get to stay here, I get to do what I do. Get to be here with my kids and grandkids. And one day I get to be reunited with her and be in the presence of Jesus. Doesn't get any better than that.
Okay.
Buzz highlight number 5 of 2025. Back in Virginia, as an immigrant herself, Blue Ridge Literacy's executive director, Ahu Salem, knows the struggles facing her refugee and immigrant clients who have to navigate a new language in the United States. And we were honored to buzz about Blue Ridge Literacy in May as it celebrated its 40th anniversary. And so here in this clip, we feature a conversation with Ahu Salem and a little bit from that celebration of their 40th anniversary that we hosted at the Grandin Theater.
Blue Ridge Literacy initially was founded under the name of Literacy Volunteers of Roanoke Valley, under the larger umbrella of Literacy Volunteers of America. It was founded in 1985, 40 years ago, and it was established by 2 local librarians who saw the need for literacy skills among adults in our area. An important factor of Blue Ridge Literacy is that we've constantly adapted and diversified our services to meet the needs of our community and the pressing issues of the times. When we were first established, we were solely serving American-born adults who had some difficulties with reading and writing. As time passed and as our demographics changed, we started seeing different needs in the community, specifically English for speakers of other languages. I was already teaching when I was much younger. Then I moved away from my home country, Iran. I moved to Sweden for higher education. And then eventually I moved to the United States because when in Sweden, one of my classmates was a young man from Roanoke. So when we got here, I had 2 dates on my calendar. One was to go to the courthouse to get married, and the other one was to go to Blue Ridge Literacy to volunteer. And they were very gracious. They offered me a class to teach, so I started teaching one of the pre-beginner classes there. And eventually I maintained my volunteering with Blue Ridge Literacy, and then a few years later, then the position was opened. I applied to be the executive director. as somebody who is also navigating life in a different country, I do get a lot of solidarity and satisfaction from our learners. A lot of times, even if our life stories are completely different, they tell me, but you understand what I am saying. And the reality is, at the end of the day, I do. And sometimes that is a type of relationship that makes it just as much easier to navigate life when you're far from your home, from your ties, from your family, and everybody that you have left behind. We are experiencing a shift, a very rapid shift in the discourse and paradigm towards immigration and being an immigrant in the United States. I want to think about it in the sense that migration is a very long-term process. Specifically, United States is not an easy country to come to. There are several pathways of moving here, and they all take a lot of time, a lot of paperwork, a lot of planning. We want to make sure our learners have access to accurate and correct information. We want to make sure that they are aware of all of the documentations that they may need, and they are aware of all of the changes that is happening in the policies related to immigration, so they can maintain their regular and documented status, which is something that many of them have. And we also don't want to create unneeded fear and confusion.
2025 marks Blue Ridge Literacy's 40th anniversary. So to give it some buzz, I hosted for the nonprofit a Buzz Live, which is my new talk show that I humbly call The Tonight Show for Nonprofits. Held before a live studio audience at the historic Grandin Theater and live streamed to our Facebook and YouTube channels.
All right.
This Buzz Live featured conversations with Blue Ridge Literacy's leaders.
Well done. What is something that people could do to help Blue Ridge Literacy?
I'll start and then I'll pass on. Please make sure people who need our services know about us. The word of mouth is our most strongest tool for getting people through our doors, but there are still more people who need to know that.
The musical guest and Venezuelan family band Tricolor, whose members received help from Blue Ridge Literacy, and a special presentation.
But one of the special things I get to do as mayor is offer proclamations for special occasions, so I'm going to share this with us tonight. Whereas Blue Ridge Literacy was established in 1985 by members of our community to address the English literacy needs of our community's adults. Whereas as we celebrate our 40th anniversary in 2025, now therefore I, Joseph L. Cobb, Mayor of the City of Roanoke, encourage all citizens to celebrate the importance of literacy for individuals, communities, and societies, and promote increased efforts towards more literate societies, and do hereby proclaim May 1st, 2025, throughout this 8-time All-America City as Blue Ridge Literacy Day.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now for Buzz highlight number 6, we're back in Alabama, where I buzzed about the nonprofit Save a Life. Oftentimes, and rightly so, we focus on women who have to navigate unplanned pregnancies, since they are oftentimes having to work alone during this difficult time. But men have a role and a responsibility as well, which is why I really enjoyed chatting in this episode with Save a Life's Fatherhood Ministry Director.
So my name is Henry Tolbert, and I'm part of the board here at Save a Life. And in the past, I had the honor of also being the men's program coordinator. If I've got 30 seconds to convince a guy, right, to be involved in a child's life, one of the things that I would say is, I would start with your own story. You know, what is it that you really feel like you're on this earth to do? You know, what is it that you really feel like ultimately you want to have? Do you want to have a family? Do you want to be married at some point? Really, maybe what we're looking at is not that you're in a situation that you don't want to be in. Maybe you're in a situation for a timing that you didn't prepare for. And if we can help close the gap between whether or not you feel ready and whether or not you feel like you have the resources, then maybe we discover that this is not a wrong decision. This is not a wrong situation. It's just a harder timing than what you prepared for. But that's why we're here. We're here to help close the gap between what you're prepared for, what you have, what you don't have, so that we can help you speed up that timeline, get ready, and actually just do something you already want to do, maybe just a little sooner than you plan. We know that the father is the most influential voice in the decision for a young lady to carry. That when a father is excited, when he's ready to go, it changes things. Like even in my own story, when my wife or my girlfriend at the time called me and told me she was pregnant with our first child, I could hear the timidity and the fear and the concern in her voice. And then when I responded with excitement and said, I'm ready, it's time for us to build this family, the tears that came from her face were not tears of fear or sadness. They were tears of joy because she knew she wasn't alone and we were ready to walk through it together. And that young man was able to make that transition all because he knew he had help. He had help. He had what he needed. He had somebody to come alongside him and say, you don't have to do this alone. When I think about the current climate around this pro-life issue, I would often make the joke that I'm pro-life, I'm pro-birth, and I'm pro-choice, right? I'm pro-choice. I just believe the choice should happen sooner. I think when it comes to how we deal with sexuality and things of that nature, we all have a choice to make about the kind of protection that we use, the kind of decisions that we make. And so I don't think that choice needs to be made when a child is involved. It needs to be made before they're created, right? I think I'm pro-birth in that I do believe every child deserves a chance. And that means that's why we support things like adoption and things of that nature. But I'm also pro-life. And, one of the big accusations against the pro-life movement is that we only care about the child being born. And I think Save a Life does a great job of breaking that stigma because so much of our program is built around what happens after. It's parenting classes, it's ongoing support, it's walking fathers through, the gift of birth classes where, we would take them, we would go with them to the hospital and do a class there and show them all these different things that they've never done, how to swaddle a baby, how to prepare a bottle, right? How to do all these things to be there, to be supportive of the child and the mother. And I think all those resources that happen on the back end show that we're concerned about not just the child getting here, but it actually being born.
Okay, we are halfway through our top 12 Buzz moments of 2025 in celebration of the 12 days of Christmas. And again, for more information about Buzz, you can go to our website, buzzforgood.com. That's Buzz, B-U-Z-Z, 4, good.com, as well as our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok, all at Buzz for Good. And now for Buzz moment number 7 of 2025, still in Alabama, we buzzed at Children's Harbor, which provides a wonderful, fully inclusive and accessible retreat center at Lake Martin in Alabama for children of all ages and disabilities. Every year, there's one organization called Rhizo Kids International, which provides help for families with a rhizo kid, a terrible genetic disorder that often leads to early death for children. Now, our episode that aired in May on Alabama Public Television featured the founder of Rhizo Kids International talking about the condition that their families have to navigate and the vital role that Children's Harbor plays in helping them. For families with a Rhizo kid, it is a true once-a-year harbor from the frightening, isolating, and ultimately fatal storm they have to navigate with their fragile child.
My name is Tracy Thomas, and I am one of the original founders of Rhizo Kids International. And the way we got started was in 2007, our son Jackson was born with rhizomelic chondrodysplasia punctata, which is why we call it Rhizo Kids. It's a terminal form of dwarfism. It's very rare. There are less than 150 children or people living with it in the world. Most of them are children because most don't make it to adulthood. And so we started looking for resources, and we found Dr. Nancy Braverman in Canada. She was like the world's leading researcher in this disorder, and we asked her if we could come to Canada and let our boys be seen, and she said, absolutely not, I'll come to Alabama. And so the doctors said, we can follow the natural history and the progression of the disease if we can see the kids every summer. So finally, our child passed away, and it became harder and harder to raise funds, and so we found Children's Harbor, but just did not think that it was a viable option, and we didn't know if they would let us come or not. They said, no, you're welcome here, and that was the beginning of our relationship with Children's Harbor. But one of the great things about this camp for us is when we get to come back back every summer and be with these families, we are reminded of our child and of our child's memory. And being with these other children that are so similar to ours, it helps keep his memory alive. That's the big thing for us, is that it allows you to continue to keep your child's memory alive, as it does for many of these families that continue to come back. When you have a child with RCDP, you're very limited in what you can do because most of them are in chairs, so you need ramps everywhere. You need showers that you can roll into. This facility is totally accessible for that. So our families can come here, and when they're here, their kids are able. We've been talking throughout the course of the last few summers how nice it is to see the siblings of our kids running and playing, and the camp is safe, and we have volunteers that come, and Children's Harbor is wonderful to do the harbor helpers. The volunteers that are invested in our families that come back year after year, where these families can come and they can relax. Their kids can have a great time while they're here.
Buzz highlight number 8 of 2025. Once again from Alabama, we highlighted the Canoe Creek Stables. Now, its founder, Nicole Tucker, shares here how the death of her brother and best friend Kyle led her to create Canoe Creek Stables' Light of the World Adaptive Horsemanship. And we were honored to buzz about this wonderful nonprofit in September on Alabama Public Television.
My name is Nicole Tucker. I am the owner of Canoe Creek Stables and the founder of the nonprofit Light of the World Adaptive Horsemanship. So I had a younger brother named Kyle. He was 9 years younger than me. He had cystic fibrosis. So I had a front row seat to his battle with his disease. And about a month before he passed away, I promised him that we'd find a way to help people. And horses have always been part of my life. They've always helped me get through some challenges, in school and different things, relationships. So they've always been a very big part of my life. So I knew I wanted to use horses to help other people. And my husband shared the same dream. So we decided to build a big barn and start a nonprofit. So here we are.
Tell me about Kyle.
Crap. Sorry. Sorry. Snaky. I'm so sorry. Kyle passed away 6 years ago. It still feels fresh sometimes. We were 9 years apart, so I grew up watching him battle cystic fibrosis. He spent most of his life in hospitals. And I'm not really sure where we transitioned from just being siblings to best friends. But I would say probably the last 10 years of his life, we were best friends too. So when I lost him, I lost my brother and my friend. So, sorry. So right before he knew he was dying. And right before he passed away, we had a conversation, and he looked me right in the face and he said, "When I die, I don't want you to be sad." And he's like, "You have to promise me." And I said, "That's ridiculous. I can't promise you that." I said, "But I promise I'll find a way to heal." And I said, "We'll find a way to help other people." And that's exactly what we've done. And it's taken a lot of time. This is like our personal Goliath. I was an airline pilot. I mean, it was a totally different life back then. But my husband shared the same dream because he lost a brother also a year before my brother passed away. So he has his own reasoning behind doing this as well. So it took a couple more years than we wanted, but we finally took the leap of faith. We started building the barn in 2023 and opened in 2024. And I started going through the process of becoming a certified therapeutic riding instructor. And then we started the nonprofit. So it's been a lot to tackle at one time. I'm a mom, I'm married, I have a normal life like every other busy woman. And then to tackle this on top of it has been quite a challenge. So, but it's very fulfilling. So we are Light of the World Adaptive Horsemanship. We are a 501c3, and our mission is to help others heal and grow while enjoying one of God's greatest gifts, horses. We have all different ages here and all different abilities, different circumstances, people going through grief or maybe a physical disability or a learning disability such as autism, ADHD, anxiety, Down syndrome, spina bifida. I mean, we have a whole broad scope of different individuals that we work with. So you don't have to look very far to find people that can use the help.
For Buzz highlight number 9 of 2025, back in Virginia, and by far our most viral reel of the year, featured Rune Samatar, who lived most of her life in the Kakuma, Kenya refugee camp. And in this, she dreams about trying to get out of the refugee camp. And thanks to the nonprofit Elamisha Kakuma, Rune was admitted in the fall to Virginia Tech. Now, in this clip, Rune shares how she hopes to use her degree to help others in the camp. In fall of 2025, Virginia Tech welcomed its newest Kakuma student, who bought her newest jilbab in honor of her new Hokie home.
Hello everyone, my name is Rune Samatar and I am a refugee student from Kakuma refugee camp. We came to the camp when I was 3 years old, and just last month on August I was fortunate to get out of the camp at the age of 21 years old to look a better life for myself. When you are at the camp, you feel like time isn't going anymore, like things are collapsed, and every time seeing like a plane goes up your head, like you're like, when am I going to be in that plane? Like, when is my time coming? When am I getting out of this place? Like, because everyone, most of the students who finish high school have a desire and dream to just look for a better life, to look for joining into university. It felt like my hard work, my determination, the long nights that I have burned had paid off eventually, and I could see like the end of the tunnel, like getting into university with a full honors, college into Virginia, full ride of STEM scholars. It was like a dream come true. Yeah.
Even after her acceptance, the road to Blacksburg was fraught with bureaucratic obstacles of getting the necessary paperwork, visas, and so forth. The founders kept her informed of opportunities to attend university in other countries.
First applying to Virginia Tech, the motto of the school resonated with me, ut prosim, that I might serve. So I think like I clicked with that motto, because that's what I have been doing back there in the camp, serving people. And that's what Elamisha also, when I joined Elamisha, it taught me not to only think of yourself, but also of the others. It didn't only prepare me intellectually, but also like the ability to help others around me, trying to find problems that are there and helping them in a way that it is possible for you. Yeah. Now I am in the College of Business, but then like I was interested in computer science, and I wanted to both double major in computer science with health and see like how, technology is revolutionizing the healthcare system. But then like, yeah, I'm also interested in international relations, in journalism, in many things, and it gets crazy sometimes. I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? So I'm like, I need to stick to one thing. I'm like, because like it's so funny. But then like, I really want to do a major that later on will not only help me, but also I can use it to help others. Without Elamisha, I don't know where my life would have been. I would have been still there back in the camp trying to figure it out, what to do, where to go. So like, it is fortunate, and I always thank the co-founders of this program. And I love to also come up with another program that maybe there are a lot of problems in this world. So just coming up with another program that can help people and leave a legacy. That is what elementary has taught me, to leave a legacy. I love to leave a legacy in where I go. Here in Virginia Tech, leave a legacy of being a student. Outside of Virginia, also to leave a legacy. So that is what I love to do.
Buzz highlight number 10 of 2025. And that was our final buzz of the year in Virginia. We featured Angels of Assisi Animal Welfare, whose medical director, Dr. Josette Richmond, shared why she cares so much.
The mission of Angels of Assisi can really be put into a nutshell, and it's to end animal suffering. So the first phase of that is through our veterinary clinic. We offer low-cost, affordable, accessible veterinary care for folks to help them take care of their animals. Anywhere from vaccinations to more complicated things like diagnosing cancer, mass removals. Spay-neuter is a huge part of it, of course.
Leading that mission is veterinarian and medical director Dr. Josette Richmond. Richmond had trained at Angels in 2008, but then went into private practice back home in McDowell County, West Virginia. But in 2017, Angels of Assisi was called into McDowell County to rescue more than 30 dogs, and afterward decided to do more outreach in the low-income community.
So we had a wild idea to do a mobile clinic and maybe see if we could help some folks with their pets. It was a kind of a new concept to us at the time. And I sent a Facebook message to Dr. Richmond, who I knew lived in West Virginia and had a West Virginia veterinary license. I said, hey, we want to do this thing called a mobile clinic and give veterinary care in McDowell County. And she messaged back immediately, I'm off on Wednesdays.
Well, growing up in West Virginia, especially being close to McDowell County, which is one of the poorest counties in the nation, people love their animals, but when it's $400 to spay or neuter a dog, they can't afford that, or their dog gets hit by a car and you've got to have $1,000 before someone will touch it. That breaks your heart when you're not allowed to help, or you can't help because money's the main goal there. And that's what drew me to Angels, was having that ability to kind of work with the clients, take care of the animal first, and then kind of sort out the finances. That just meant the world to me, because there were certain times growing up that I know that if my dog got hit by a car, I'd have had to, my mom and dad would have euthanized him, no questions asked, and that would be a hard pill to swallow.
Under Richmond's direction, Angels provides full animal care for everything except brain and back. Exploratory surgeries, mass removals, spays and neuters, ultrasounds, sick and well exams, and of course, foreign body surgeries.
Dogs and cats eat some of the strangest things you will ever imagine. Toys, especially from the toddler, cloth, and stuffed animals. I pulled out a full teddy bear one time from a Great Dane.
A new diagnostic tool that their new home allows, a CT scan.
So with the CT scan, it's going to allow us to have better diagnostics. Right now we have dental x-ray, but like a CT will show you the pulp cavity and how it's open or not. For diagnostics, instead of maybe having to open up an animal and explore to see if there's a mass, that CT is going to show us that there's a mass. And that's going to improve our diagnostics very much.
So phase 2 of ending animal suffering is through our adoption center. And that's for animals that have ended up in a shelter. We do a lot of neglect, cruelty cases, hoarding cases. So we also have an animal rescue, and that's through the adoption center. And we have staff that's trained to go out and help animal control do rescues. And then we bring the animals in to the adoption center. We're lucky that we have a veterinary clinic so they can get fully vetted, blood work, dentals, things that they need. And then they're put up for adoption and get some awesome new homes.
Buzz highlight number 11 of 2025. We're back into Alabama with Down Syndrome, Alabama. A Down syndrome diagnosis can be the start of a difficult but very beautiful life, thanks to nonprofits like Down Syndrome Alabama, which we buzzed about in May on Alabama Public Television. And here in this clip, we meet the founder and executive director, Missy Huffery, as well as one of the moms and Down syndrome sons that they serve.
Down Syndrome Alabama is a nonprofit organization that serves the state of Alabama for people who have Down syndrome, their families, and their communities. Our focus is education, advocacy, and connections, and we hope to build an Alabama that is a brighter, more inclusive place.
Well, I think in Alabama specifically, we have a long way to go as far as there's still a lot of misinformation out there. I think that even some of the doctors who deliver the news, they're really using outdated information and they're approaching families in a way that doesn't allow them to kind of think about the future in a positive way. I think when I received the diagnosis there in the doctor's office, because I already kind of had maybe the idea in the back of my brain, it wasn't a total surprise. I had a pediatrician who just did a great job. I mean, he really put our minds at ease, and first thing he said is, don't Google anything, don't look up information, just enjoy having a baby. He just delivered the news really matter-of-factly, but also in a way that was, hey, life is going to move on. You're going to do the things you normally thought you would do. It might look a little bit different, but let's don't focus on that. You've got a completely healthy baby, and just enjoy.
I think I would say for other kids with disabilities, I want them to think I'm funny. Because I want them to know that I like jokes. They could hang out, eat, and see what it was like for their future.
So you want to be an example to others?
Mm-hmm.
The funny statistic.
And for our final Buzz highlight of 2025, once again, we featured an Alabama nonprofit that is replicated nationwide, including in Virginia. And that is Holy Family Cristo Rey Catholic School, which serves low-income families of all faiths who just want something more and richer for their children.
My name is Katie Utiamko. I teach religion to 9th and 10th grade students. The population I'm teaching here is a lot of students from many different religious backgrounds. Some of our students are Catholic and are regularly attending church. Some of our students are regularly attending other denominations' churches. Some of our students don't attend church at all and have not really been raised in any faith. So when I teach, I am trying to reach many different groups of students, which has been wonderful and also challenging. Has really pushed me to be creative in how I present the information and how I engage with the students to make sure that all of these different groups of kids have a way in.
That's the other thing that I liked about this school is that they are Catholic, so we have Mass.
Despite the fact that, I'm not Catholic, but I appreciate that we're able to build our relationships with God.
If I could only teach my students one thing, it's hard to narrow it down to one thing, maybe a group of related ideas, that they are valuable, that they are loved, that they are in this world with a purpose to love others in a way that only they can, and that they are part of a really beautiful story that will end with all of these things that confuse us somehow making sense. And we get little glimpses of that beautiful resolution to this story in the world we live in if we can recognize it. That's what I would like my students to leave with, a feeling of purpose, a feeling of, or an ability to find the transcendent, beautiful moments in our everyday life. And I'd like to give them opportunities to reflect on how they fit into this world. A lot of our students have more demands placed on them than are really fair for their age, and I think a lot of them are wondering what's the point.
Her mother passed when she was 5. She's actually my son's daughter. My son and I have joint custody of her.
Students at this school in particular, we work with a lot of students from immigrant populations, people who have family members in other countries.
So my parents came here from Mexico. We moved to Alabama because lots of our family members were here. And we found this to be a good place.
People who have to take on leadership roles in their families at a very young age, people who are really working as providers for their families while they're in high school, trying to invest in their own future.
Really following the wrong crowd, to be honest. Not doing the things that I really wanted to do as far as progressing.
And then there's also just the struggles that all families face. Broken families, deaths in the family.
So I was often separated from my biological parents, and then by the age of 13, I was an orphan due to my mother passing away in a car accident when I was 9 years old, and then my dad passed away from cancer when I was 13.
Being human is really hard, and when you have the privilege of working with high school students, you really see people dealing with things that they, in a perfect world, they would not have to be dealing with at such a young age.
So I had to move to Birmingham with some family that I didn't even know, until months prior to the whole thing.
I try to be a safe place for them. I try to create an environment in my classroom where they feel safe, physically, emotionally, mentally. And that's, it's a challenge, but it's also the greatest privilege of teaching here and teaching anywhere.
So really, through prayer and relying on God through these situations, I found that I was able to do a lot of things, being the SGA president.
I see the story of Catholic education, especially in America, as reaching out to marginalized communities who were new to this country, who were not accepted, communities who wanted a school that would respect their beliefs and values and that would help them pass that on to their children. Challenging them, providing them with academic excellence and rigor, but also embracing them as a whole person. I think that it is just everything that Catholic education should be.
I had lost hope kind of at the end of 8th grade, and since I came here, I've been getting that uplifting energy here.
My prayers have been answered in many ways, and so I just feel like, building my relationship with him and, showing him that appreciation for the things he's done for me is basically the least I can do, honestly. Because he's brought me through a lot. And he continues to uplift me and guide me in my journey to, getting scholarships to go to college and stuff. And basically answering all the prayers that I've been.
I feel like Holy Family really values their students a lot. They really want to help them go forward in life and aim for the best to actually be that difference in the world that they need.
All right, and that is our top 12 moments from 2025 of Buzz here as we are still in the middle of the 12 days of Christmas. For more information about those shows as well as all things Buzz, please go to our website, buzzforgood.com. That's buzz, B-U-Z-Z, 4, good.com, as well as our social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, even TikTok, all at Buzz for Good. I hope you and yours continue to enjoy a wonderful Christmas season and continue supporting and celebrating the nonprofits that make our communities an even richer, more fulfilling place to live. We look forward to seeing you back here next time on Buzz for Good. And until then, keep being a Buzz for Good for the community you hold dear. Bye now.